يا جماعة بيكو، احنا دلوقتي هنلعب الستانلي بارادوكس 59. يا ودلوقتي بيقول لي نحط الوقت، معرفش ليه حطيته 5:59 بالظبط زي الوقت عندي في الحقيقة. هنلعب الستانلي بارادوكس مع بعض. Before we start, can I say something? Before we start, can I say thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously, they just leave clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set up the clock and I appreciate that. أخدتني سنتين. That's how I know that you care about the experience you're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing the correct if the times you're setting are correct. Tell me what. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whenever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. إيه ده شكرا. I, alright, I let you get back to the video game now. I don't think ده في الجيم العادي عشان I don't think أيوة يا جماعة ده بيحصل. I guess نبدأ بجيم يا جماعة.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what
يعني أنا
employee
95 job
427
حرفيا
did every
office work.
day,
Nice.
every month of every year.
ليه؟
And
إيه الحياة
although others
الصعبة
might have
دي؟
considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came,
ليه؟
as though he had been
How
made
could you be
exactly
excited إن أنت تعمل كده؟
and Stanley was happy.
How are you happy في اللي أنت بتعمله؟
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change.
آسفة يا جماعة فوت صحنت التلفزيون. بيبو بابو بيبو بابو بيبو بابو بيب.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
البتاع
the
ده رن
meeting.
على فكرة عليا
Perhaps he
مرة.
had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
يعني فيه زي hints كده أي حاجة مضحكة. I hate Mondays يعني me too يعني me too. ايه عايزة اقرا مش عارفة اقرا. بحاول اقرا الكلام. بس يا جماعة ناخد وقت ايوه احسن ده حد عايش حياة كويسة. حد عايش حياة كويسة. بس لا بابايا احسن اب. تعرف كده. بيبو بابو بيبو باب. بيبو بابا بو بيبي باب. بيبو باب.
Oh, new content?
ايوه عشان لعبت
What does
العالم
that
لعبة كتير.
mean, new content?
حبيبي. ده انا عالمي بقى، ده انا بيدلعوني كمان نيو كونتنت بقى. ايوه ده على فكرة دي المرة دي بجد انا معرفهاش. يعني دي اول مرة دي العبها معاكم، انا لعبت اللعبة بك صراحة مش هقول لكم. بس دي جديدة عليا والكلام برضو اللي قال when you boot it up the game twice.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013
بجد؟
on home computers.
اوف.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
ايوه.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new
طب it's
Ultra
okay.
Deluxe content.
Free new. يلا يلا يلا
Okay,
نجهز.
so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
فكرة مش بحب نيرتي ده، أنا كنت أسمع كلامه عشان أنا إنسان عالمي.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we
يا ابن
be moving somewhere or oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
No no please don't do it. أنا خلصت اللعبة بطرق غريبة جدا لعبة.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the
honey.
content, Stanley.
خلاص الناحية التانية فينك لو فاتني حاجة. حرام لو فاتني حاجة. jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
أيوة هو احلف دي اللعبة. اللعبة دي أنا بعمل إيه في حياتي؟ كنت جاي عايز أبوظ اللعبة وما اسمعش كلام إنها ريدر، بس لأ إيه ده؟ نايس.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
انت قلت لي شكرا. يا نهار ده كده 1 من 3.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
يا بالنسبة لي أيوه.
Then I could just read
هو
you the whole
33 مرة
dictionary.
أنت
There's
عايز إيه
20
مني؟
hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The
Oof.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I'm not يا عم ده.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could
Yes.
never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
احلف. لا definitely ده ما كانش الأوفيس بتاعنا في الأول.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
وإيه
I
كل
want
نيو
to show
كونتنت ده؟
you something.
لا ده بجد نيو كونتنت يا عم، ايه الجمدان ده؟ استنى عايزة كوفي. اه لا جامد عجباني اللعبة بجد دلوقتي، والله ما أنا كنت عارفة الكلام ده.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
عايزة أقول للديفلوبرز أوكي. لا أنا خايفة. المشكلة هو حرقتني كتير.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port?
أنا
Remember
بلعب على
back
بلاي
in
ستيشن.
October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
اوه فلوس عايز اخدها دي. لا مختلفة. اوكي. وي اوكي نروح لا مش عايزة. طب
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this
They're not
stunning
Stanley,
triumph
what?
of games journalism. 10 out of 10
Don't feed
from
any music,
Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
انا بجد
It's
مش
just a
مهتم.
husk.
انا حرفيا مش
A
مهتم.
lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
اخلص بقى اخيرا. عم انا فرحان إن عايز العب اللعبة. انا عايز العب اللعبة. اما انا مش عايز. انا عجبني النيو كونتنت بتاع 36 شوب. الصراحة عجبتني.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
صراحة
The
فوت
Stanley
الحتة دي.
Parable is both a richly
الفيديو نفسه.
stimulating commentary on
صدقني
the
فين
nature
حد عايز
of
يتفرج
choice
على
in
الكلام ده.
games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation, boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
هو انا محبوس هنا ولا حاجة هتحصل؟ I like work. I just hate my boss. Relatable, right? فاهم.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
صراحة أيوه كنت unfunny.
Trying to be funny?
Oh.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a
ماشي
handful of
لا
gags to insert into the
يعني ده
stand.
جديد عليا بس عايز ألعب اللعبة معاكم. عارفين مش جاهز أعمل كمان فيديو مخصوص بس عشان أتفرج على الكلام ده مش ألعب اللعبة بجد.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
ChatGPT.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I do
Gamadan daw.
Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and length. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Azwash.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really... Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Yo,
Or 2 weeks.
Gamadan. La, Gamadan.
It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me...
Kadın da. هو راح فين؟ ايه ده؟ وايه اللي بيرن؟ في زي باب ولا حاجة؟
Well,
صادم.
they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant
Yeah.
to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of...
مش مهتم. اللي بتاعت تكون مرعبة. أنا ما كنت فاكر اللي كان في بتاع، أنا أكشن مكنتش مركزة أوي. زيت أخاف.
The
Did you say-
end is never the end, 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 is
الرعب
never the
ده.
end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is...
زيت أخاف فيك. رعبة مرعبة أوي كده ليه؟ أوه واو ماتت. اوكي انا ريت ما هارت سكيب. اوه واو. بتخيل ورانا ان الريتر يطلع علينا يقول لنا ستوب بقى. اوف كنت شكله مرعب. اوف. نور ربنا يا جماعة. ايه ده يا عم، المفروض نايفين كتير بزيادة. اوه واو. مش كان في باب هنا؟ راح فين الشجرة هو اصلا؟ ايفل جاي. اشرح له ده يا عم. اوف. اوه أنت تخاف صراحة. أيوة. This like unlocked النهاية يا جماعة. We're free من narrator. We're three boys. Run! 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 يلا يا جماعة. ايه ده؟ ايه ده؟ ايه اللي رجعنا؟
All of his co-workers were gone.
ايه
What
ده؟
could it mean?
تاني؟
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
تاني؟ هو ايه الباب ده؟ استنى، في واحد هنا، في واحد هنا. دي كنت اكتر من كده. لا.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
مش احنا اوريدي؟ لا، احنا عملناها قبل كده، مش محتاجين نعملها تاني.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Yes, sir.
Someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Who?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him. نخلص. فين دي واحدة من النهايات؟ أنا مش فاكرة صراحة الحكاية دي قوي.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
اوكي، هو الباب بتاع الأوفيس بتاعنا.
All right,
Reading
now,
read
I want you
coincidence.
to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Nice.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even
دلوقتي
feel
دي
sorry for
شكلها
him,
أبيض
except that
أوي
he's
كده.
chosen this life.
لايك هي مش عندها حاجة ولا لابسة حاجة.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
First.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible
وأنا ليه
paths and
بيتي بيروح؟
destinations.
إنهم
Down
حقوا
one
بيتي برضه
path
يعني
lay an
مش
enormous
فاهم.
round room with
حاجة
monitors
صعبة.
and mind controls.
حاجة
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
إيه؟
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path.
يا جماعة إيه ده يا عم؟
Perhaps if he played just one
عملنا
more
كتير أوي
time.
كده. إحنا دي infinite loop. Loop after loop after loop.
But there is no answer. How could
Is
there
it?
possibly be? In reality,
Nice.
all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
نيموني أخيرا.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
إيه ده
He
ليه؟
won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
أنت تعرف إن عندي عايزة أدوس على الزرار. عايزة أدوس على الزرار أوي. انتوا فكرة انتوا تشدوني اي ضوء اللي ادوس على الزرار فالفكرة مش هنخلص فانا نفسي زهقت عايز ادوس على الزرار بعديها ده هيقفل علينا نطلع في مكتبنا تاني ده هيختفي نطلع ونعيد اللعبة.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
Yeah.
So different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well,
Meow,
maybe this time
meow,
we'll see.
meow, meow.
Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
ايه ده؟ لا في نهاية للعبة عشان انا مرة اتفرجت عند حتة الكريدتس وكده فانا عارف في نهاية بس مش فاكر ازاي.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
المرة دي بجد عايز ادخل تاني ما فيش عايز يكون في حاجة مختلفة. نيو New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
ماشي يا جماعة، ما كنتش كنت هشيله من الفيديو، فآسف. مش كيورستي وكده. اوكي يا جماعة، قفلت الفيديو بس هو بيتكلم حاجة مختلفة، فقلت شغل الفيديو تاني.
So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud
هي
to
لعبة
announce for
مختلفة.
the first time ever the Stanley Parable
ايه؟
2.
ايه؟
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be
Mom,
clear,
speedrun.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Yeah. Save a button says the name of a player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Look.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
ايش صار ده؟
Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim.
اتفرج على التيك
You
توك
feel it in
فين؟
your soul? Are you really truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you! Do it again! Do it again!
No. Hell no. وليه المكتب اختفى غير الحتة دي؟ بليز طلعني. بليز طلعني. بليز طلعني. المشروب بتاعك كان كبير، مكنتش مركز وانت صغير اوي كده. واو، مكنتش مركز خالص وكنت قاعد بتفرج التيك توك فاين.
It hits even harder the second time.
No, it
If
doesn't,
this were the
folks.
only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
ايوه انا موافق اخيرا يا عم. وانت بتغير الاكسبيرينسز الجديد ده اكتر باكج لاقيتني لازم في العالم. قلت بجد يعني هيقولها
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes,
No.
yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite Hall. Nice. Infinite Hall, free trophy. Settings World Champion. Yeah, free trophy. Why not?
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing
I don't
a
remember
technology to
خالص.
simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
فقط التيم كلها ولا أي حاجة يا نهار أبيض. أنا بتنسب على ده سكان يا جماعة، سكان ما عليهم قضية. أنا عايز أعرف الإنفينيت هول دي.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
إيه؟ استنى دي حاجة أيضا فاكرة. No screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on...
اسف يا جماعة، أخدت ثانية باخد سكرين شوتس، شو إنه سكرين شوتس، فاهم؟ أخدت فرصة ما اسمعش الكلام. Happy 12th birthday stepsis. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
إيه؟
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
إيه النصب
Come
ده؟
now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
النصب ده. اوكي، عايز امشي. السؤال بقى، انفينيت هول قدام. طب انا ازاي اخلع؟ خلاص انا زهقت. زهقت بسرعة طلعني. كنت عايز اعرف الانفينيت هول بس. يا جماعة اكست. محتاج اعرف الانفينيت هول. كيوستي اخدني. ايه الانفينيت هول ده؟ عايز اعرف حاجة اقع جامد. وونت اند. يا نهار ابيض، الصداع. انا يخت وجعني بسرعة بقى. هقع تخيل. Range surrounding area depth infinite.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever.
I don't think so.
Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
It's not infinite.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
قلت لكم
Is
it's
it
not
really a very
infinite.
deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
أيوة.
What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh,
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I'm
Why don't we
كلمتش.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can
أشبي
move on.
سجاير.
I'll just be
أوه.
up here when you're ready.
اليوم meeting at 2 p.m. Sincerely management to everyone because we تاني just the two of us we can make it if we try just the two of us na 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 just the two of us just the two of us building castles in verse life just the two of us you and I every pause button in room 2 okay boy yeah,
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
yeah وانا برضو عايز اقع تاني معرفش ليه عايز انزل في تاني عرفت كنت رحت من فوق العمرة انا نصاب مش انفنت اسف على الفيديو ده طول جدا انا بس يعني صح ما عارفش الكلام ده فانا بستكشف معاكم يلا نشوف سيكوز جديدة عايز اعرف collectible
Calling it
بصراحة
the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But oh goodness, Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
No.
No? You're just going to ignore my advice? Fine. No fun new content for you then. You're the one who spent money on this game.
لا PlayStation Plus هروح عشان الناس ما اوكي اكبر ناس هيزقوا من الفيديو من دلوقتي انا شخصيا ابتديت ازهق بس انتوا فاهمين كيوريوسيتي والناريتور المستفز كده بقى محتاجة لسه اروح اسفة يا جماعة hell no
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
ايه ده يا عم التعامل ده so 1 out of 6 oh no ممنوع بروز هل ايه الهبل ده
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
شوف انت بتفهم بالعكس بس انت خلاص احنا خلصنا اللي انت عايزه you are here yeah jump in the secret loop for trophy this button says your name merge settings or champion blah 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 if you log infinite tool تاني ايه ده jump circle انا عارف الجمب circle ايوه jump circle بس exit بقى خلاص كده من اللي انت عايزه يعني
So
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful
No.
gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley?
والباقي
This isn't a
collectible.
coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game.
كان في
I wanted
collectible.
fans to love
ايش يا جماعة مش
it. No
هتكلم
matter how
كتير
good
الصراحة أنا
these
مركز
gags
في
are, they
برضه
would
وتخدي
stand
من
on their
اللعبة.
own. They would need the structure and the
لا
gameplay of
كنت
the
حاطط
original.
الكاميرا كنت بشوف رياكشن ساعتي وكده بس أنا مش
Maybe
حاطط.
that's it.
بسم
I could
الله.
take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and
شكلي غريب
integrity of the
قوي
original
كده أول مرة
game.
أشوف شكلي.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
أوه حاجة جديدة نايس. إيه ده؟ Begin the game.
This is the story of a all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
مش حاطين بالونات. فين؟ غاب سيرة new content. Nice.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
نسمع الكلام.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
لو أنا عارف المشن دي هندخل في لوب هيغمى علينا بابلو لو نزلت تحت وانا صراحة مش ناقص. هسمع كلام ايه المرة دي وهطلع فوق. Exclusive buff. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes isn't it rich? What a life should be to have to pick just one. Collectible!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these
God, Mr.
beautiful figurines.
Faceless.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
أنا عارف اللعبة دي.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
فين بقى الهول
Stanlerine
وال7000 جامب
unveiled.
عايز اقفل من تون. مش حاجة ناقص. في طريق انا عايز اروحه قوي متسألش. ماشي. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yeah, whatever.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes, sir. إيه شو نقول أنت يعني ضاعت راس.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
إيه ده؟
What
أيوة قلت
exactly did the
لكم.
narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
نايس يا جماعة. طبعا مش هتفتكرش. ولا أنا جاهز لن أرجع اللعبة. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
شكرا يا جماعة. بعد النهاية interesting دي وهنخلص الفيديو على كده وسلام.
To find out.
يا جماعة أنا قلت لكم دي بعد عند حتة الاسكيب بالظبط. دي حتة أنا دخلت عند المايند كنترول فاسيلتي، لسه معرفش ده عامل غير عايز على الزرار ده أوي. قلت أكمل لكم بس الحتة دي على السريع عشان ليه لأ. عشان ليه لأ زود حتة من الفيديو عشان أزهقكوا أكتر. مش عارفة أقول لكم
Now
إيه.
the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number
أنا
of
هو
an
47
employee in
أنا.
the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ja, die zijn niet op. Maar die zijn niet op. ما مش قادرة يا جماعة. اللعبة طلعت طويلة قوي، ما كنتش واخدها جد. دي كنت اطولها. ايه ده؟ مش شايف حاجة. I don't think هي محملة صح. اهي. انا كنت بس
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
انبسط. هربت من الحياة الرخمة دي. اوه اوه اوه.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries?